Are you looking to upgrade your infotainment system in your Toyota RAV4? Maybe you're still using the older factory screen that looks something like this, and you'd like to upgrade to something larger, more modern, and packed with features like wireless Android Auto and wireless CarPlay? We're going to be taking a closer look at the Roadanvi X14 that I installed in my 2019 Toyota RAV4 LE about 2 weeks ago now, and we'll walk you through the features that I've actually been using, what I like about it, a few things I wish were a little bit better, and whether I think it's worth upgrading from your factory system. And if you're interested in learning more about the X14, it is linked below in the description so you can pick one up for yourself or find more information. Now I should mention that Roadanvi did send me this X14 unit free of charge for review, but all the opinions in this video are based on my own experiences of using it. So as for compatibility, this particular model is designed for Toyota RAV4s from 2019 to 2022. My vehicle is the Canadian 2019 Toyota RAV4 LE, but if you drive a different vehicle, be sure to check out the Roadanvi website. They offer head units for different models and manufacturers, including Toyota, Honda, and Subaru. Now inside the box you'll find everything you need for installation other than a few basic tools, a socket set, pliers, that sort of thing. But included was the X14 head unit itself, nice big screen. You've got the user manuals, a trim removal toolkit, the power harness, GPS antenna, Wi-Fi antenna, the 5.4G antenna, the SIM card slot cable, USB adapters, and then the audio and camera connections, and an external microphone. It looks like a lot at first, but everything is labeled and most of the installation is plug and play. For me, the installation process took about an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and a half from start to finish. The wiring itself is mostly plug and play, but there are quite a few connections involved, so I definitely recommend taking the time to review the instructions before getting started. I would also recommend watching an installation video before starting. If you can't find an X14 installation video, I would check out the X12. The installation process is very similar and this can still be helpful. My head unit also allowed me to retain the factory trim around the display, which helps give the finished installation a really clean factory style appearance. One of the first things you'll notice is the display or the screen. The X14 features a large 12.3-inch QLED touchscreen with a resolution of 1920 by 720, and it looks fantastic in this vehicle. The screen is bright, colorful, responsive, and easy to read whether I'm using Android Auto, Maps, music, or browsing through the menus. And the performance has been excellent. On a cold start, Android Auto is connected and ready to go in about 15 seconds. If I restart the vehicle shortly afterwards, everything comes back almost instantly. Usually within a second or two, I can be using Android Auto again. Overall, the system feels quick and responsive with very little lag. So for me, one of the biggest features is the wireless Android Auto. My 2019 Toyota RAV4 LE originally only had wired Apple CarPlay and no Android Auto at all. So having both wireless Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay is a huge upgrade. As soon as I start the vehicle, Android Auto automatically reconnects and picks up where I left off at. For me, going from a small factory screen with only wired Apple CarPlay to this large 12.3-inch display with wireless Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay completely changes the driving experience. The Bluetooth 5.2 connection has been really stable during my testing, and I haven't experienced any disconnects or issues reconnecting after my vehicle starts. So navigation, the X14 includes built-in GPS and comes with both Google Maps and Waze available right out of the box. Personally, I still prefer using Android Auto for navigation, but it's nice having those options available if you'd rather use the built-in navigation apps directly on the unit. And one feature I really like is the dedicated map button at the bottom. You can customize it in the settings and choose whether it opens to Google Maps, Waze, Android Auto, and CarPlay. I have mine set to Android Auto, so I push the button once and it takes me right into Android Auto where I can use the navigation and use Spotify at the same time. So apps, storage, and connectivity. The X14 runs Android 14 and includes 128 gigabytes of internal storage, giving you plenty of room for apps, maps, music, and other content. You can connect to the internet using a dedicated 4G or 5G SIM card, or simply use your phone as a hotspot like I've been using. Once connected, you have access to the Google Play Store, allowing you to install apps just like you would on an Android tablet. I've tested apps like YouTube, Spotify, SportsScore apps, and several others, and they've all worked well. Just remember to be safe and follow your local laws and regulation when using these apps in your vehicle. So one thing that really stood out to me is the overall fit and finish. The X14 looks really sleek, modern, and it integrates nicely into the dashboard. It honestly feels like something that belongs there rather than an aftermarket add-on. And another thing I really appreciate is the addition of the dedicated buttons. You've got dedicated buttons for the navigation, the audio, the radio, the phone functions, and the home screen. These are things I use regularly, and having physical controls makes the system much easier to use while driving. But one of my favorite features is probably the volume knob. I know it sounds simple, but having a dedicated volume knob makes a huge difference. Not only can I quickly adjust the volume, but a simple press instantly silences the audio. It's one of those features that doesn't sound exciting on paper, but once you start using it every day, you really appreciate it. I also like that the Roadanvi X14 includes 3 different themes. So it's got the Ocean Wave, the Elegant Simplicity, and Fantasy Colors. While personally I prefer the default Ocean Wave theme, it's nice to have options. So most of the factory features in my RAV4 continue to work properly, and I'll touch on this a little bit more in my wishes coming up. My backup camera works, including the different camera angles, the door open indicators still work, and most of the steering wheel controls function properly as well. I've also made several calls using the system, and nobody I've spoken to has had any complaints about the call quality. As for audio, everything sounds great to me. There are plenty of EQ presets and advanced audio settings available, including support for more advanced audio configurations if that's important to you. So as much as I've enjoyed using the X14, I do have a few important notes and wishes. The first thing is simply understanding that it works more like an Android tablet rather than a traditional infotainment system. That's one of its biggest strengths because you can install apps, customize the interface, and do much more than a factory radio, but there's a bit of a learning curve while you get familiar with everything, and it can be a little bit more complicated to use than what you may be used to. The second wish I have involves the steering wheel track control. So on my vehicle, the forward and back controls were reversed by default. So if I push forward, it goes back, and if I push back, it goes forward. Thankfully, there is a fix in the settings. It's pretty deep in the settings, but it is there. I was able to fix that, but it would be nice if that was configured correctly right out of the box. And finally, while the installation instructions have improved, I'd love to see Roadanvi create a detailed installation video that slowly walks you through the entire installation process from start to finish. There are quite a few cables involved, and I think that would really help first-time installers out. So overall, I've been really impressed with the Roadanvi X14. It gives my RAV4 a much more modern feel, adds a large responsive display, supports wireless Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay, and brings a lot of flexibility with Android 14 and the Google Play Store. So if you're looking to modernize your RAV4 with a larger screen, more connectivity options, app support, and a premium infotainment experience, I think the X14 is definitely worth considering. So if you want more information or to pick one up for yourself, it is linked below in the description. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Till next time, thank you so much for watching and take care.